everyone, I'm Amber and I just got back from Cuba. I got back last week and so everything's still very fresh in my mind. So many people have asked me, about my experience and how I went. So I just wanted to answer this for you, and I just want to put this in a YouTube video. I just want this to be super informative, and I just want everyone to have a great time if they're thinking about going to Cuba. So So how to get your visa. You can get your visa in 3 ways. You can get it at the Cuban embassy, you can get it online, and you can get it at the airport. I got mine at the airport and it was super simple. I just went to the front desk. I flew through Spirit and I got it when I connected to Fort Lauderdale. And she was just like, do you need a visa? And I said yes, handed her some money. Wrote down, I think I said I was going there for educational reasons, and then she handed me my visa. It took all of 30 seconds, I swear. If you go through the Cuban embassy, you need to just have the time. So this is like if you're planning it 2, 3, 4 months in advance, and because they're going to mail it to you. It's honestly like kind of pointless, in my opinion, to do this unless you're going to the Cuban embassy for other reasons as well, not just your visa. The second way to do it, and probably I would say the best way to do it, is to get it online. I didn't get mine online because I didn't have enough time. I went to Cuba on a very last minute trip right before I started my job, and it's very spur of the moment. But if you get it online, you can just do it through your airline. I'm not sure if this is just US Airlines, but every airline I looked into did do this. And it's really simple. You just need your passport number. You just pay the fee online. You think you do have to print something out and you have to bring it. Because eventually you have to get your physical visa at the airport if you didn't get it mailed to you. Either way you look at it. And there's a number that you can call to speak to a representative about this. I'll leave that in the description box below. Something else that's super important is money, of course. So you're not allowed to use US dollars in Cuba. And you're also not allowed to use US credit cards or debit cards in Cuba. And even if your card is from England or Canada or something, but they have dealings with the United States, like partnerships, you're still not allowed to use that. So you have to use cash, and you have to convert your cash when you get there. So you can do this in 3 ways. You can do this at the airport, you can do this at a hotel, or you can do this on the street. I would not, if I were you, convert it on the street, although I do know some people who did that and they were perfectly fine. I just personally, I didn't feel comfortable doing that. And the problem with doing it at a hotel is that you actually have to get to the hotel, and if your taxi doesn't accept US dollars, how are you going to get to the hotel? So we just did it at the airport, and you do it outside. You most likely will fly into Havana. So there's 2 conversion stations, and it's super simple. I'm just going to be very honest. I took $400 US with me, and I converted 360. I didn't want to convert all my money. I just didn't think that was super smart not to have any US money. So Cuba has 2 types of currencies, the CUC, the CUC, or the CUP. The CUP is only used by locals in certain cities. Like a lot of places in Havana didn't even take CUPs, so everyone has CUCs. I converted my money into CUCs. And it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. Basically, 1 CUC to 1 US dollar. That's how you should think of it. When traveling to Cuba, I would highly suggest don't stay in a hotel. First off, there's very few hotels. Second, they're very expensive for what you get. I would say, yeah, visit a hotel to go to the rooftop and take pictures and drink and all, but I wouldn't say stay in a hotel. You're going to get a much better experience if you stay in an Airbnb. Cuba's Airbnb policy was very simple, and it's actually probably one of the best Airbnbs I ever stayed at. My Airbnb cost $19 a night, so it came out to $85 because, you know, Airbnb has fees and stuff. And I loved it because I had a house mom, and you will notice that when you go on the Airbnb's website, a lot of houses have house moms, like, and I thought it was really cute. Her name was Faitha, and I almost wish I could have like brought her back to the States with me, as she made us breakfast for 3 cooks, $3 a day. And she actually spoke like no English, but she was still very nice, and you could kind of understand. She was like, oh, Linda, like pretty. She was great. I did learn that a lot of Airbnbs in Cuba are actually run by tour guides, and I thought this was really cool. We were offered a tour guide for 10 cooks a day, and I would highly suggest this. He spoke English. He really saved us a lot of money, to say the truth. He just said, this place is a little overpriced. I think you should wait and go here to buy this. He just was so knowledgeable about the history, and I mean, he's Cuban, so he just knew a lot. So I can't talk about Cuba without talking about the water. I knew this going into it, that their water wasn't very good, and a lot of people suggested do not drink it. And I can say now that I have never been more grateful to have clean drinking water in my life. You have to buy bottled water when you're there. You really have no choice. I read somewhere that like 50% of the people get really sick. You really have to have the stomach for it. I didn't get sick, but I know someone who went in a group before me, and like they all got very sick and like ended up in like the Cuban hospital very sick. It's not to deter you, but you just have to be very aware of it. And you might think, oh, it's so easy to buy bottled water, but it's not, because it's such a commodity, to say the truth. So we would go to like our, just the regular corner stores, and we say, oh, do you have water? And they're like, no, we don't have water, but we have rum. So Cuba has a lot of alcohol, but little water. I could find bottled water, and I couldn't even find the very big ones, but I definitely had to search for it. So in addition to being very grateful for water, I am extremely grateful for toilet paper. I know that might seem a little weird, but there were plenty of places I went to in Cuba that had no toilet paper, not a place for toilet paper. People thought I was weird for asking for toilet paper, and I'm like, what? So I'm very happy. I brought a lot of wipes with me. I just naturally just always have wipes in my purse and stuff, but I've never been so proud of myself for packing well in my life. Like my Airbnb had toilet paper, but a lot of places in the city didn't. Or sometimes you would have to pay to use a bathroom, like a whole $1 to pay for the bathroom, just for them to give you toilet paper. And they wouldn't even give you a lot. They give you like 2 little sheets that aren't going to do anything. I'm just going to talk a little briefly about the nightlife. So we did go to the club on, I think it was a Wednesday night, and we went to it's kind of a strip of places called La Rumba, and your taxi driver will know what you're talking about if you just say dancing or rumba. He's going to probably take you to this one area, and the bars you don't have to pay for, but the clubs you do, like where you dance. And I'm the type of person where I don't like to pay cover where I live, so I'm like, I'm not going to pay for anything, but I really did want to dance. And it was only 5 kooks, which is like $5. And the place we went, I'll also leave that in the description box, you got a free drink. So really, you're only paying like $2.50. So we walk in, and the women are just dressed for the night. Let me just say that. And like the shortest dresses, the highest heels, and like all of them had the same bag, kind of. It was like the same style of bag. And I was like, wow, it's a Wednesday date night. These girls are all dressed up. And I'm like, yes. Later did I know they were dressed up for a different reason. And it wasn't dancing. So, I have my drink and, I get the dance floor. I'm just having the time of my life. I was getting like spun all around the dance floor. I was saucing and merengue, and they played also some American music. So Rihanna, Justin Bieber, all that stuff. I had a great time. I don't really want to go deeper into the story of other things that happened, but I did find out that many of the women there, because I was wondering, like, why aren't they dancing? They're just kind of standing there, like, kind of waiting for something. And, me, I'm like, shaking it up. But, yeah, I found out that they were working girls. And, no shade, no harm, get your money how you need it. But it was very interesting when they approached one of my friends and I was like trying to come home, and just be very aware of that. I was very surprised. Only 5% of the island has Wi-Fi. You're gonna look honestly very weird if you go there and you're on your phone, because no one else is on their phone, and actually very few people have cell phones. So I just kept my phone on airplane mode the whole time, and I kept it in the room. And I did not miss it at all. We met someone there who was an American, and he spent $1,000 in charges just from being on his internet. And it's just not worth it at all. My most important tip, besides, toilet paper and water, of course, is to really get out of Havana. I had the best time when I went to Vinales, which was a city that was 2 hours away from Central Havana. And honestly, it made my entire trip. We went to the Vinales is where they make the Cuban cigars, and it's actually a national park. So we saw how he rolled the cigars, and he tells all the history and about the cigars, and we got to smoke the cigars, and he dipped it in honey, and it was so amazing to me. And he's like, people come from all over the world to buy this, and you can buy the cigars there too. And this is, I guess sometimes when you buy cigars on the street, it can be crap. Just anything can be crap. But there it was super authentic and natural and organic cigars, you know what I mean. And also in Vinales, I went horseback riding, which was an amazing experience. That cost 30 kooks for 2.5 hours, and we stopped, I think 3 or 4 times. We saw where they made the coffee, and Cubans, it's really known for cigars, rum, and coffee. The coffee is very strong, but it's really nice to see how they make it. And then we went to 2 caves. One was underwater, and one was that you had to climb into. We had an amazing lunch. Their houses are so colorful and so pretty, and I felt like I was really on vacation when I went to Vinales. So that's probably my number 1 suggestion, is to get out of Havana. So to wrap up, I really hope you found this video informative and that you learned some things. Definitely email me at info@girlwithdrive.com if I forgot anything, or if you just have some other questions. And definitely, book your flight. There's a bunch of flight deals happening right now. And I would say, once you book your Airbnb, just be in communication with the host, and just kind of, get the address, get the information that you really want. I just hope you have an awesome trip. And down in the description box, I'm going to leave some places of where I went that I definitely think you should go. And yeah, bye.